Inflation is only going to get worse. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, April the 12th. And quite the week in the markets. A big rally, ceasefire, lots of good stuff. Oil collapsed. Well, I guess collapse is not the right word, but it was down 25%. But inflation is on the rise. You can thank the moronic Federal Reserve for the interest rate cuts that they've already given. And of course, as we've said many, many times here, just because the banks get a rate cut does not mean that that rate cut's going to be passed on to you. So the initial rise in inflation was due or is due to the price of oil. The ridiculous spike in oil, which again really didn't make a lot of sense either, but the fear premium was built in. The markets, the oil ran up, causing prices to rise in everything that you buy and everything that you do, because of course 80% of our economy is directly correlated to the fossil fuel market. But oil prices were up 140%, or actually the price of oil was up 140%. Interestingly enough, at the same time, Chinese EV exports rose to a record high. Now, again, I think that we can, the electronic vehicles are fine, but there's plenty of oil, not a reason for cost, and we still haven't solved the overall battery problem, certainly not the Chinese vehicles. And of course, there's many better ways to create energy, but we continue to see that the March CPI was blistering hot, and it was of course led by gasoline and oil. And of course, this is what we continue to see, and that's going to drive into your cost of your food because of the cost of production of the grain markets now. All of those prices are higher. But this all started not because of not because of the oil, because of the Federal Reserve and the way they handled things all the way along the way. And of course, the Fed has not met their inflation targets in 5 or 6 years. And of course, the real truth of the matter is, why do we give a shit about the Fed's inflation targets? It doesn't help you, the American, the citizen, the consumer, okay, what their target is, because let's face it, Americans are earning less in compared to the rate of inflation. The Fed had no business cutting rates. The only way that we can get out of this malaise and this problem is to let the free markets determine and let the free markets work. Having the Federal Reserve manipulate or try to thread the needle, as they want to call it, on interest rates is stupid, okay? Because it does not help a free market. Okay, real personal income declines again in February. You're losing money to inflation. Okay, this is not the way that it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to make more, but of course we have bad inflation versus good inflation. There is good inflation, which is inflation that is driven by consumer demand, by plentiful jobs, people making money, driving prices higher. That is good inflation. What we have here is bad inflation, which was created by the morons at the Federal Reserve, by the demand for rate cuts, by the demand for monetary policy, which does not help 98% of the people. Okay. The monetary policy helps 1 to 2% of the people. Okay. So it is rising faster than your pay. The banks are much more exposed now to private credit. So if you don't think that 2008 can repeat itself, or 2001, or whatever, any one of the collapses we've had, there are so many warning signs out there right now. Okay, including private credit, including Blackstone, and the ability not to get redemptions, including the exposure to the banks that are over leveraged, okay, that you'll never hear because, of course, God forbid the Federal Reserve would tell the truth or do a true audit on the banking system, okay? So now we've got these problems to go along with the banks, the exposure coming into tax season. Cleveland quarterly Fed quarterly CPI inflation estimates to rush to 5.5% in quarter two. Okay. So now you tie in all of the moronic things that have been done, then you tie in the war, the ceasefire, which again, if it makes it through the next couple of days, it would be a shock. Okay. NATO is falling apart, which God forbid it should fall apart because let's face it, NATO is not an organization that has done anything, in my opinion. Again, I'm not, you don't have to agree with me. There's no, but NATO itself, which we'll talk about more in our commentary. Okay. So we've got a real problem with finances, with jobs, because again, if you believe that jobs number that came out a week ago, I got a bridge to sell you. Okay. We're losing jobs. AI is taking over. You can't get service. So what's going to happen? Higher prices, no jobs, normally reaches what we call stagflation. Never a good thing. And of course, just beware with AI and technology comes a lot of scams. And it is the perfect time of year for scams, tax scams, as taxes are due this week. Just be careful. Look, I would give you one piece of advice. Okay. When you get an email, okay, check the email, check the sender. Check the sender, not what the title says. Look at the sender. If the sender is not from something you recognize, do not open that email. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of phone calls, a lot of AI shit going on. Just be careful. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April the 12th. We're going to step out of a break and be back with our market report right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. What up, kids? Glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying the Masters. A heck of a tournament, but Rory's running away. But in the meantime, behind me, the Daily Trade Finder, been awesome. Simply a model for day trade, selling credit, low risk, reward, uh, a way to generate some income, and of course, great for prop trading. And of course, don't forget our brokerage partners. And again, I do have other brokers, but we do recommend trade your brokerage for options and equities. Tremendous, saves me $100,000 a year. Charges $10 a month. Works with all of our automation. Phenomenal organization. And by the way, I'll be speaking for them in May 7th and 8th in West Palm Beach, Florida. If you'd like to get a ticket, they're $79. Certainly come and check it out at PGA National. And of course, CTG, Capital Trading Group, our partner for futures and commodities. They do a great job, great customer service. The Joy of Mom, our high school program. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, markets had an up week. Not a surprise. You had a down Monday and looked like they were headed lower. And then all of a sudden, Tuesday afternoon, came out the potential ceasefire and markets exploded. And then, of course, when the official announcement came out, markets exploded even more. They continued to rise on Wednesday, Thursday. So we had a pretty big week. We're up against resistance now and going to push up towards that 7,000, which was our ultimate target. Again, I think that we've reached the end of the road here. Listen, I'm not going to say they can't go higher because that's not what we do. But I think we're at resistance. I think the rally is bullshit. I think the rally is based on false information. Again, doesn't mean I'm telling you to get short. And believe me, I'm still long my investments. I'm never selling those. I'm hedged, which is something I recommend everybody else do. But in the meantime, I think you're getting a hell of a selling opportunity. And if you remember, a couple of weeks ago here and on interviews, I said that crude oil was a potential selling opportunity of a lifetime. Well, it was down 30% since then. So just keep in mind, look, we're not predicting, we don't want you to do anything crazy, but when you find a level, you should be able to act to that. And of course, the four major indices were higher. We're actually short two and looking to short more. The dollar continues to hover between 98 and a dollar. No big deal. Euro currency, we're still short. And again, we'll be looking to sell more rallies there. Bonds and notes were lower once again, and of course that means interest rates are going higher, despite the Fed supposed cuts and all the bullshit. Bitcoin had a little charge. Looks like it's going to try to break out. It's getting near 75,000. Held a low, held another low, and it's making higher lows. Very bullish pattern. The metals continue to be consolidating. Gold, silver, and platinum had a slightly up week, but still in that overall form of consolidation, so nothing to get too excited about. Uh, Copper continues to be stuck between 5.50 and $6, or even 5.25 and $6. Again, consolidating market. Grain markets had a little bit of a down week. I think it's fine though. We're long grains. Cattle continues to push higher, which we're no longer participating in until there's a reason to. I think that you got to just look at the market and say, hey, they're nuts. They're way out overpriced, but there's no reason to try to sell into a freight train. Nat gas continues to get hammered a little bit here. We're long nat gas. Certainly, from a shot taking standpoint, it would be something I'd look at, but we are long. Again, I think that we're a little undervalued, but we'll see how it plays out. And of course, crude oil got creamed last week. It dropped from a high of 120, closed the week at 96, got as low as 90. So again, we're still short. At the end of the day, when this war resolves or doesn't resolve, okay, oil is coming way down. We warned you. We talked about it. Be careful. Again, there's no reason to get crazy here. And there's never a reason to put all your chips into one trade or one whatever. Whatever trade you make sure that you have protection. So if you decide to short something or go long something, just make sure you know your exit. It's what we talk about on my Saturday call, What If? In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April the 12th. We'll step out for our final break and come back with our commentary. And that's it. We'll be right back with more. Well, guys, here we are. And of course, just a quick reminder of our sponsors. Remember the Daily Trade Finder. Check it out. Awesome product. Um, Trader Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, The Joy of Mom, and our high school program. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April the 12th. And, well, obviously the war. And if you don't know my views on the war, I wasn't an advocate of going to war, but if we did go to war, I was an advocate of taking control and taking it over and wiping it out. Okay. I think again, I don't want to be involved in this situation, but I think NATO has showed its true colors and showed that they're basically a worthless organization. Now I get a lot of arguments from a lot of people, but in my opinion, they're totally worthless and they're mostly funded by us. But NATO fits in with the World Health Organization, which is a lousy place, the World Economic Forum, and NATO. Between the three of them, they ain't worth shit. And they cost you and me, the taxpayer, a lot of money to do nothing. Okay. I think that NATO showed their true colors when we went to them during this whole situation here with the Straits and with what's going on, and they backed down like dogs. You heard what Germany said about us. So at the end of the day, I think that these organizations, I think we should not be part of them. I think that, again, we should be in charge. That's what it is. We are still the reserve currency. We are still the big player. I can complain and tell you the bad things all I want, but it's still the best place in the world. And we certainly don't need to take care of and be part of these organizations that when we do go to them for help, they turn their back. It's just one man's opinion. It happens to be mine. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you back here tomorrow with, of course, Bubba's Daily Update, and next week with another Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.